Welcome to West Country Wanderings and welcome to another one in my railway series. Today I'm on the Gloucestershire and Warwickshire Railway at their centre at Toddington in Gloucestershire, just a few miles away from the town of Tewkesbury and not that far from the coastal town of Stow-on-the-Wold, and also about 6 miles south from the terminus of the line at Broadway, just over the border in Worcestershire. Today is the first day of operations for 2023, proper weekend operations should I say. So I just decided to come here just to the centre today, not actually going on the train, just to filming some comings and goings, tell you a little bit about the station too. Toddington station is the centre of the Gloucestershire and Warwickshire Railway operations. They have their main workshops here. And earlier on I had a quick tour, just quick peek around through the door and then through the side, looking at the locomotives that they've got there. Incredible collection, and I'll just show you what I recorded there then. There are a couple of trains running today to and from Cheltenham Racecourse, going back up to Broadway and back again. We have a diesel DMU, and these are really important on heritage lines now because of the cost of operations, particularly with the cost of coal and also the ongoing maintenance of steam locomotives. However, there is also a steam locomotive running today, and that is Braveheart, British Rail Standard Class, which is actually owned by the Dartmouth Steam Railway in South Devon, of course, and it's on loan to the GWSR for the season. And I just managed to capture a shot of that wonderful locomotive entering the station here at Toddington earlier on today.
Hello there, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, not bad. Yourself?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Yes.
I don't have to go excited. So when there's a famous person over there.
Right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You as
Cheers.
well, take care.
Cheers now. Bye bye.
Now the refurbished diesel railcar, and it has been wonderfully refurbished, was manufactured in Linlithgow in Scotland in 1959. I believe it's the Pressed Steel Company that manufactured that. Managed to get some shots of it arriving on the overbridge here at Toddington. It's now making its way back to Broadway. Interestingly though, it ran on GWR metals in the Paddington area on the little suburban services around coming out of Paddington on the GWR main line, but also well into the West Country Wanderings area. It ran on suburban services around Devon too. Perhaps it went on the Gunners Lake branch. I'm not sure, but if I can find that out, I'll put it in the usual way below. Just fabulous seeing sight of steam again. First one of the season proper. Well, we did have that little adventure down to Didcot earlier on the year when they had a little loco there. It's great to see full-on mainline steam. Braveheart was built at the famous GWSR Swindon Works in 1951, one of 80 locomotives as part of that class. And Braveheart's going to remain here until the Cotswold Festival of Steam, which I think runs between the 12th and 14th of May. If that's not correct, I'll put the dates in below, but I think it's the 12th to the 14th of May, when it'll return back to the Dartmouth Steam Railway in Devon, of course. If you're not familiar with the Gloucestershire-Warwickshire Railway, this line was originally made by the GWSR back in 1904, or should I say opened in 1904, as a relief line, or as their connection between Bristol and Birmingham. Of course, you had the Midland Main Line, which ran from up through Mangotsfield, that direction, making its way up through Gloucester to Birmingham New Street. And the GWSR want to have a competition with that, so they opened this relief line here, coming out of the town of Cheltenham, making its way north towards the Warwickshire town of Stratford upon Avon, and linking up with other lines there and going into Birmingham Snow Hill. The station here actually opened in 1906 and sadly closed as early as 1960. Freight continued until 1966, until the whole line was scuppered by a derailment in BR days in 1976, which they then closed the line completely. However, heritage operations took over as early as 1984, and this centre here, Toddington, has always been the base of the GWSR operations. The line continues north to the Cotswold village of Broadway, and south to Cheltenham Racecourse Station, which is of course right next to the famous Cheltenham Racecourse. We are right at the end of the Cheltenham Gold Cup week. They have been running steam train specials there then, but they have now stopped, and we've now gone back into the ordinary weekend operations here on this fabulous heritage line. In case you're wondering what these railway carriages are doing here on platform 2, the operations have been happening on platform 1, and they've been using the crossovers at either end of the station here. This is the hangover from the Cheltenham Gold Cup specials, which are running here from Wednesday to Fridays. I'm filming this on a Saturday now, so that's just come to an end. And this will be moved probably over the next few days back down to the carriage depot, which is at Winchcombe, which I filmed at before, and they have carriage renovation works there too. Winchcombe also acts as a crossover point. It's where the trains cross. The ones coming up from Cheltenham Racecourse, the ones coming back from Broadway, can pass each other at Winchcombe. Well, they can also normally pass each other here at Toddington too, but we've got the aforementioned coaches here. But as I say, they'll be going soon. And just by the signal just over in the distance there, that is the Toddington Workshops. Wonderful place. They've got some pristine should I say, they've just come out of the paint workshops. I think there was a Class 47 brush there, looked absolutely immaculate. There was a little shunter going backwards and forwards as well, as a couple of other steam locos that I couldn't quite identify. I'll have another look at the footage when I get home, so if I can I'll put that in the usual way at the bottom of the screen there. But yeah, wonderful setup there. I think on a couple of days during the week when they've got full operations running here back on the GWSR, perhaps in the late spring going into the summer months, they have tours of those workshops. If I can find details of that, I'll put that in below. If it doesn't appear there, then check out the website, and I'll put a link to the GWSR website in the description of today's video. Now, I haven't suddenly moved to a toy shop. I'm actually inside the former signal box that was sited at Honeybourne. It opened in 1933, I believe, which Honeybourne is just a little bit further to the north of here in Worcestershire, and this is where this line from Cheltenham to Stratford-upon-Avon crossed over the Cotswold line that runs from Oxford to Worcester. Honeybourne reopened in the 1980s, 1982, 84, somewhere around there. I put the exact date in it. It's a very, very busy, busiest station today. It's a really important junction there. The line continues a little bit further. There's a little spur of the line there which goes on to the Rail Development Centre at Long Marston, which I have covered on a separate video. I'll put a link into that video on today's description of this one. But this here has a fabulous toy collection inside. I'll just take some photographs and insert those now. Just bought the tripod and camera underneath the canopy here on platform 2 because it just started to rain. In fact, it was forecast to be quite showery today, so I was a bit like, shall I come out and film? I thought I'd take a chance with it. In fairness, it's actually been very, very good. Just the only odd shower hasn't been particularly heavy, so it's been really good here. Very pleasant experience here at Toddington. In terms of facilities here, you've got toilets, you also have a cafe, you've got various bookstores, there's also a model shop store as well. And there's free parking. If you're not familiar with the area, the best way to get here is from the M5 Junction 9, which is the one for Evesham and Tewkesbury. So come off that, follow the signs towards Evesham. When you get to the Teddington Hands roundabout, then go straight on, don't go left or Evesham or right to Cheltenham, go straight on, which is signposted to Stow-on-the-Wold. It's about 5 miles from that roundabout, and you can just follow the brown heritage signs from there. So it's really, really easy to get there. As I say, you've got free car parking when you get here too. Wonderful place. Just explore, get yourself a tea, cup of cake, and just chill out and enjoy these steam trains and other bits and pieces, these wonderful artifacts of this wonderful restored GWSR station here in Gloucestershire. Now, this wonderful building behind me was the former lorry office and coal office, I believe, at Winchcombe Station, which is just a couple of miles down the track, about 3 or 4 miles south of here at Toddington. This is actually on private land here just behind me, but you can access it when the gate is open. So if you come to Toddington, this gate is open, you can have a closer look at it. Wonderful. I'll just give you some clips of that now. In the field opposite, you've also got a couple of vintage lorries as well, which would have been used out of the Winchcombe site. When I was filming Braveheart arriving, coming into Toddington earlier on, there were some people looking at the carriage at me as I was filming. Sometimes that does happen. People see a fluffy microphone on top of a camera, which is on top of a tripod, and think, ooh, is that TV or something? Well, obviously I'm just a ordinary YouTuber. But there were some people that recognised me being West Country Wanderings, and I didn't catch your name, but I think you're related to somebody I know, so really good to meet you all. You're all having a wonderful trip all the way up to Broadway and back down to Cheltenham again. It was really pleasant to meet you. I really enjoyed that. I've also been speaking to a couple of the volunteers that work based here at Toddington too. Very pleasant, very knowledgeable. They're saying about the Braveheart locomotive, which is to say it's the first day of operations, and that goes right through to the 14th of May until we get to the Cotswold Steam Day. And the reason they were standardised back in BR days when they were built at the Swindon workshops was because they could then swap over the drivers. You had those 80 odd locomotives, so rather than being just a handful of locomotives, lots of different drivers could use all those different locos, and they'd be completely familiar with all of the controls. Well, that's it for today here on West Country Wanderings. I hope you enjoyed another one in my railway series here at Toddington on the Gloucestershire and Warwickshire Steam Railway. There'll be other railway ones as part of my railway walks. I've got one of those coming up soon. There'll also be ones exploring disused railway lines, as well as ones like these, which are visits to heritage lines, giving you some steam on the channel. As well as that, there'll also be videos on walks in the Cotswolds, on the coast in Devon and Cornwall, exploring other places throughout the West Country Wandering region, and also ones looking at various canals too. You can also join my Facebook channel, Facebook group shall I say, which is West Country Wanderings. Just go on to Facebook and tap in West Country Wanderings, and then you can request to join and I can bring you the route, and you can also share your own photos of places of interest across the entire West Country region. Until next time, thank you very much for watching my channel today. I really do appreciate it. Thank you also for your lovely comments and support. It means a lot and it enables me to carry on doing the channel. It's not a monetized channel, but I really enjoy making the videos. But it's always good to get a reaction and your lovely comments. Appreciate that. See you soon. Cheers now. Bye bye.